south. He says, and they crank out a lot of these cars, but they got clipped a couple times for bad VINs. He says, and I think this car is fake. So
Oh,
Galen Govier, who at the time was the e-body guy, from what I understand now, he's kind of fallen out of favor. There's another guy who kind of took over. I didn't get the backstory, but at the time Galen was the guy, and they found him at the show, brought him over, and he substantiated what they thought. So they called the local auto crimes division of the police and said, "Hey, we got a bad car here on the." And he was right. They took it, never saw the stage. They got impounded, and the
wow.
wire went through. Yeah, I mean, I said, don't you guys ever stop? I said, you're retired. You don't even do that for a living anymore. He goes, yeah. Once it's in your blood, he says, you just can't. He goes, plus, the fact that somebody's going to spend at the time those cars were going for a couple $1 million. He goes, someone to spend a couple $1 million on a fake car and they don't know better. He goes, it would have passed most people's scrutiny, but he happened to be a Mopar guy and he is involved with fraud and auto crime, so he knows what to look for.
Wow, that's
He
crazy.
goes, I'm looking at it like we're saving some poor sucker from losing a couple $1 million.
Right?
Wow, that's
Could you imagine?
oh
I
man.
get mad when I lose $10. Can you imagine $100,000 car and it's fake?
100, and he was talking millions. So and then there's no, I mean, the only recovery you have of that is you got to try and sue the guy and make your case, and God knows what that entails.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that easy. It's going to cost you a lot of money, and then if the guy goes out of business and or splits or disappears, now you're sitting there holding your subpoena in your hands. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna pull Paul in because I'm sure he knows a little bit about this stuff. What's up, Paul?
What's happening tonight, fellas? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
what do you know about auto crime? or Fugazi Gvins?
Why? Like a stereotype here. What would I know about auto crime?
Ask Lewis. He's the guy who said it. I'm just doing a follow up.
Hey, I'm thinking that
I watched Gone in 60 Seconds more than once.
Yeah, good movie.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can say this: the instinct for the detectives that work that kind of stuff, and for the insurance investigators that go out and do the recovery and insurance fraud, it's not something you can turn off and just go on vacation.
No, I'll tell you another story. There's another guy I know who worked in the same auto crime division in the city. He predated the first guy I was talking about, and he's another friend of mine, and I help him. I do some car work for him. He came to the house. I have an auto parts store right up the block, so we went over to the store. He needed something. It was a summer night, and as we walk up, there was a minivan parked not perpendicular to the building. It was parked across the front by the front door, and someone was just running in to get something, I guess. And we had to be 10, 15 feet away from this van, and he gives me an elbow in the side. I'm like, and he's a big guy. I'm like, damn, what? And he whispers, he goes, the van, it's bad. The van is bad. And I could just tell the urgency in his voice, even in the whisper. And I could see his eyes were set different. His body language was totally different. And as we go past it, he didn't stop. He just kind of looked at it. He saw a lot more than I did. And we go inside, and there was a guy at the counter getting parts, and he nudged me. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "The guy's bad. The guy's bad." So after the guy leaves, I said to him, "Like, what? Okay, what the hell was that all about?" He spotted there was something with the license plate and the stickers on the window. And as he walked past it, he spotted a bad VIN. I was like, "You saw that just walking past?" He says, "Yeah." He says, when you do it for a living, your senses are so heightened. It's like you're like Superman, like you just said. You're and you don't turn it off. And he's been retired for like 25 years already. But he goes, "Oh yeah, I can have a field day with that guy." He goes, "Yeah, he'd be going away."
You're gonna go to Scottsdale?
I think so.
While in Scottsdale, I'll get you the lot number. There's a Jaguar. I just want you to pay attention to and tell me what it actually sells for.
Okay, yeah, I think so. I'm waiting on some emails back from them. Make sure I got my credentials, but I don't think I'm gonna be doing anything because I ain't got nothing to do. So most likely we'll go.
All right.
Let's get
When you
that.
heading to Florida?
What did say again?
When you heading to Florida?
Probably the first week of February.
Okay.
We're going to Melrose again to a schoolie event there. So,
Lewis.
yes, sir.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that Barrett-Jackson has a policy in place to deal with Hinky because it's being as as many cars as they see. I'm sure that what it's like the guys will say, it's a numbers game. They see so many cars, you're going to get a couple that are not what they're supposed to be. And like Ray was saying, those guys that do that, it shines. It looks like a neon light to them going, that's not right. That's not right. That's not, because they, like you said, they do it all the time and they see it immediately. I'm the same way with a truck and tractor. I can walk by a truck and go, that's messed up. That's messed up. I do it all the time. So it's, or, you the same way with a truck. I'm sure you can walk by a semi and go, that's this. You see it because that's your world.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought somebody, because there's been other people that have had same thing, issues with a car. It was represented as a special yada yada yada, and then they got into actually looking at it and went, yeah, this is lipstick on a pig. This is not what it's supposed to be. It's dressed up, but it ain't what it's supposed to be. And they backed it out, and of course they goes back to the seller.
Yeah.
And then they pretty much, I think what the one guy was saying, they caught the guy and they kind of had him not over a barrel, but it wasn't one of those, I didn't know. They realized he did know, and he was trying to pull a fast one. So they said, your options are you pay this, you reimburse this and that. And he says, and we're teetering on banning you for life from the, you're trying to sell garbage through our auction. We don't need that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, and I saw one thing with, what's his name? The guy that actually picks, this is in, this is out, this is in, this is out. He talked one time on one of the shows that he's like, and they showed him, he's got a stack of them. He goes, that's like every day. He goes, we get cars submitted. And he goes, and he goes, it's a pain in the butt actually to try to go through everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, which is why I think Craig Jackson said they had X number of cars in reserve.
Oh,
so like I said, if that one guy, they said, oh, this one is bad. It's not right. Something's wrong with it. They pull it from the program. Top of the list goes in and fill it slot. So that way they have car. If they say we have 300 cars to sell, they have 300 cars that'll roll.
Could you imagine having that problem that you got to have a waiting list just in case? You know what I mean? Like you got an auction, you would think you'd run everything, but they stop it and they have a waiting list. Hey, if somebody falls out, you can jump in. People are probably really jumping up and down to get in.
And the other part was the one guy I saw, I don't remember who it was, if it was Richard Rawlings or somebody, they were talking about they weren't used to running cars through it, no reserve. Where Barrett-Jackson, that's a lot of what they do is no reserve. But, and then some of the higher end stuff like the Super Snakes and some of the really, really crazy, they'll let them put a reserve on that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's,
that's scary, man. You get up there and it don't it's reserve, boy. That's woo.
There's been a couple of them that, it's,
gambling.
Bought the car, sold it, and got the car, did a restoration or whatever, and by the time they ran it through this, that, and the other, and they're like, yeah, we made peanuts.
Yep.
The sale paid for the restoration, the car, and this and that, and all the other stuff. And that's like I said, some days you hit a home run, grand slam. Sometimes it's ground out to first.
Yeah, just like gambling. Man, I'm getting all kind of alerts. It's windy outside, huh? The desert might not be there when I go out.
It'll just be moved to another location.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think Barrett Jackson and even Meekum, like I said, I think they have something in where if, like I said, if they do catch one, it ain't what it should be. Because that's all they want is, Carcraft, Hot Rod, all these, like, hey, Barrett Jackson is selling fake cars and this, they're like, they don't want that kind of a,
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah.
So, Paul, tell us a little bit about the Jaguars you've been smashing.
Well, I haven't smashed any lately.
Or that's a black term for doing some stuff on it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I failed my Ebonics class.
Yeah.
Well, the Jaguar MK2, I was out in the garage tonight. I got a couple hours in on it. It's slowly in its cleanup and disassembly. The Jaguars in Florida are all in a really good standing. There's one in Baltimore, Maryland that's disassembled that needs to get to Florida to be reassembled. And I'm trying to coordinate how to do these trips and make it extremely profitable, not just break even trips.
Right. That makes sense.
As well as we got Starbird Tulsa coming up in February. And everything else is going on in 2026. It should be a pretty good year for automotive events.
Yeah. So is that in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
Yes.
And what date is that?
That'll be like February 20th, 18th, 22nd.
I might be able to hit that, dude.
Dude, if you can get to Tulsa in February, you need to get to Tulsa in February.
Because my event is on. Wait a minute, let me see. Tell you in a second. When you look for something, you can never find it.
Story of my life.
I mean, I can see it every day, all day, and then when I go look for it, it's gone.
Everybody who's anybody, I don't care what part of the culture and subcultures in the automotive world you play in, get to Tulsa. Tulsa has something for everybody. It is one of the only shows in America where I will go without my car. I will attend as a spectator, stay for 3 days, and still want more when the place is shutting down.
Yes.
Tulsa is the ultimate show in the United States. If you've never been, I can't explain it. You have to experience it. I'm not trying to talk it up, but anybody who really knows who I am knows I have done literally everything from the local Dairy Queens to Pebble Beach. I know car shows inside and out. This is the ultimate show in America. Maybe the world. I just can't compare with anything else because I've never gone outside the United States. But in America, this tops them all.
All right, I think I can make it because my event is on the next week, so I'll be heading that way. You know what I mean?
Well, then I'll just meet you in Tulsa, or you can come here and run the Jeep up to Tulsa. Park the bus here and run the Jeep up.
So I might come that way to. I got to go to Signature Solar again. So
right,
there might be a plan. Yeah, we'll coordinate it.
Yeah,
heard it's a pretty good show.
Yep. So Justin, how you liking your new car, the Wagon Mobile?
I'm loving it. I just haven't drove it yet much.
Oh, it snowed, huh?
Yeah. It's all
so
good.
Did you name it?
We're working on it.
Okay.
It's just gotta come natural. The Lincoln name came natural, so it'll happen.
All right.
No, I'm excited. Getting some stuff around, some parts, and It'd be hopefully we're kind of in the thick of things for Autorama, so haven't had much time either.
Just like I was saying to Lewis earlier, Lewis has been putting up clips from the show. What was it, earlier in the month when I was up in Whitestone, and I just saw the clip yesterday of you talking about the wagon. You got to go check it out. You got to look, check it on Lewis's on the Playing Traffic YouTube page. I don't know what it is. That show was just so loose and free flowing. I laugh at every clip I see.
You know why? Because you were drinking.
That's part of it, probably.
In that undisclosed location.
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah, a cigar.
I've caught a few of those clips.
Yeah, phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
You had a good cigar and some drink. Well, you were feeling good.
Yeah.
That's how it works out sometimes.
Yeah.
So when is the Detroit show?
That is end of February. It's like the 28th and the 1st and 2nd or something like that. Carries over into March.
I'm out here where the weather's nice. I'm not even missing those shows.
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, you got nicer weather, that's for sure.
I'm telling you, because I was feeling a little down about PRI. I was like, man, I'm not a PRI. And everybody kept calling me, you here? I'm like, nah. But then I started thinking, I was like, it's cold there. And they said it was, did you go? It was really cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't warm.
You get the PRI bug, did you?
What's that?
Did you get the PRI bug?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been going every year, man. Yeah, we got down there.
No. I mean, the bug.
Oh, I
know a couple guys who went, and every damn one of them come back sick as a dog. They all got sick. Yeah. Every one of them come back sick as a dog from PRI.
Yeah.
I didn't, unfortunately.
That usually happens to a lot of people at SEMA, man. I try to wash my hands a lot, and I take a whole bunch of vitamin C and stuff, man, when I'm at those shows.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get some crud.
Zinc, too. Zinc is what helps your body fight that stuff. Keith, you're making too much noise over there. Keep it down.
PRI was good, but yeah, we got in there, Friday about 3:00. Wasn't too bad, but we left early on Saturday because of the incoming storm.
Oh yeah.
So good time nonetheless. But yeah, it was cold.
Nelson called me. He needed some help, and my wife was like, "Why don't you fly out and go?" And I was like, "No, it's cold. I ain't going." I said to ask somebody else.
That's somebody you need to go visit the shop. Is if you hadn't been there. He's in Muscle Shoals.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, next time I get in that neighborhood, because he's, I talked to him when I was in Vegas that one time, and he told me, he goes, he gave me the address to the shop. He goes, we're in Muscle Shoals. He says, come on by and whatever, and I'll show you the shop and all that. And I was like, man, I'd love to, because I love that area.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You talk about some good eating and just the killer place to go hang out. That's Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, I went to his car show a couple years ago, and it was at the museum, Muscle Shoals Museum, and we went through that. It was really nice area, but it was too hot. Oh man!
Oh, it's hot in the summer, without a doubt.
Listen. I drove down from Ohio, me and the wife, and I had a full tank of gas, so I got pretty close. So I stopped to get gas, man. I got out of the truck, man, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy! How hot it was!
Too cold."
It was like a whole different hot. It was like, what is going on out here?
Well, and it's being a Southerner. And we like to explain because you get to get folks out there where you're at, and they're like, oh, it's a dry heat. I got news for you. If it's over 95, it's freaking hot.
Yeah,
dry heat, wet, whatever.
I'm with you.
It's gonna be a wet heat.
Yeah.
Well, down here, the humidity, because I mean, like this year. There were a couple times that it was like, 90, 95, 96, and the humidity was 95, 96. And it's, like I said, I can remember Lewis walking out at like 1:00 in the morning because I had to be somewhere, and you open the door and you just get that woof. It's like, Jesus Christ, it's 1 a.m. and it's oppressive and it's hot. It's like, Oh, good God! But it's that heat and that
Humidity, yeah.
that humidity. It's a killer.
I'm gonna call it a night, fellas.
All right, Paul.
All right.
See you, Paul.
All weekend. Anybody wants to come by and hang out in the garage? It's open. Come on by.
All right, appreciate
Talk to you guys later.
all right.
See you later, man.
See you.
So Keith, you gonna blow anything up for us tonight or what?
No, just we don't have any more gingerbread houses.
You're a freaking mad bomber, man. Jeez.
It took it like the first one. I'm like, oh, it just blew the roof off. And I was like, oh, that's not fun. So then I had to figure out. And then we didn't record the other ones. I put it like a piece of wood on top, and then shot another one off and blew the piece of wood away.
How big is your property down there?
It's 3 acres.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I got plenty of room to do stuff.
Yeah.
That's good.
Get in trouble all sorts of places, all sorts of corners of the property.
Yep. You
Jeez.
can hide stuff too in the corners too.
Right. There you go.
Got cars my wife doesn't know about. So.
Nice. So Vince, speaking of Muscle Shoals, do you know? Is there a back history to that name? How Muscle Shoals actually got named?
That I do not know. I've got friends in and from Alabama. I could probably find out, but I've just I being a kid that was always into music, because the Memphis groove and all that sound came out of Muscle Shoals.
Right.
Booker T and the MGs. Well, that's what the MGs meant, was Memphis groove.
Right.
And the other one, and it's like I sent you that note that one day when I was in Macon, and I went by Capricorn Records.
Oh yeah.
And that's another label from the 70s that a lot of smaller, the Allman Brothers and a lot of those
acts. Yeah, we're on
started on Capricorn Records because they were into Macon and ended up, getting picked up
Yeah. It was that yellow label. I think the Outlaws were on Capricorn for a while. But yeah, okay. No, just curious because I know, now I've been going to the South more. I'm just interested in that stuff. Like where a town got its name. Sometimes it's just it was a guy's name or whatever. But sometimes it's pretty interesting when you get those little factoids. So I always ask.
Have to do a little checking on that because, like I said, that's a great area. I haven't been there in years, but
yeah, it's nice. In the museum, they had Alabama's tour bus. It was pretty neat to go through that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
The band Alabama, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Nice.
You know where they got their start, their real big break at, don't you, Ray?
No, I don't.
They got their big break in playing a club in Myrtle Beach.
Okay. Wow.
Randy knew one of the guys that had a theater. It was almost like a dinner theater.
Uh-huh.
And and actually it's still there in Myrtle Beach. And they were looking for talent, of course, the off season and this and that. They're always looking for talent. And the guy who was kind of booking a lot of shows and kind of run the theater knew Randy and kind of told him, hey, we're looking for this, looking for that. And he's like, well, me and my cousins and, because the guys in Alabama, a lot of them are related, So he's like, well, we're putting a band together because the band, everybody, they were in other bands and the other bands broke up. So they went, well, we're, so they, and they kind of got together, went and were a huge hit in Myrtle Beach because they were playing originals.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, their music is, if you like country music, their music is pretty, it's pretty good stuff for the late 70s and 80s and then, 90s and all that. And,
the thing with them is like, it took me back to like bands like the Four Tops and the Temptations and the Four Seasons. They were a vocal act and they had harmony and real bass. They really did it the old school way, like a lot of the bands in the 50s did, the doo-wop bands. And, that was something that set them apart from everybody else, which I thought was pretty interesting. But.
And being as how we just passed the holiday season, when they decided they were getting a lot of push about midway through their career to do a Christmas album.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was Randy or one other, his cousin, that wrote Christmas in Dixie.
Okay.
And that, and they were like, we're not sure, because they, how the band is like, well, it's a good song, but we're not sure, and that, and then a couple of them are like, just do the song and see what happens, and they did it, and the place went nuts, and they went, we might have something with this one. And then so they, of course they, being the good feedback from the shows and the times that they did actually play it, they ended up putting together one of the best selling Christmas albums of all time. Was the Alabama Christmas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. You never know what's going to hit.
Oh, you know what? And it's funny you say that, because I remember seeing an interview with Frank with Zappa, and he was talking about that, how the record industry changed in the late 80s, how,
I was just going to say, Vince, when you said that, I was going to interject, like, you don't have to quantify that with the last name. If anybody says Frank, you just think, I do just think of Zappa.
Well, my thing is, I like both Franks though.
Oh, okay.
I like Sinatra.
Yeah.
I like Zappa.
Gotcha.
But and he talked about that. He goes, as a musician, he goes, we can think it's going to be a good, we can think it's going to be a hit. We don't know. Right. He says, and he was lamenting the fact that how the music scene had changed to all the intellectual and the people that we know the music business, and we know this, and we know that's a hit. And he goes, at one point, he goes, it was a bunch of, I forget how how Frank could describe people. He's like, the cigar chomping record executives and that. And he goes, a lot of those guys were like, I don't know if it's going to sell. Put it out and see what happens.
Right.
As compared to, oh no, we know, and it's not a hit, and he goes, I much prefer the guys of like, screw it, just put it out, see what happens.
Yeah. I will. I'll reserve my story for later on in the evening, maybe when we go offline. But I was just watching some Frank Zappa stuff tonight. That's interesting. We'll talk about it later. But
gotcha.
So,
hey, where's Brian at?
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe he's maybe got a flat on the tool truck or something. I don't know. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Hey, Coach.
Good.
Is it windy over there?
Yes, it's windy. It's cold. It's rainy.
Ooh.
We had soccer practice today, and it when practice started, it was just windy, and there's a little bit of a break in the clouds, and right at the end of practice, it started pouring. Like we came off the field, the kids were leaving. I got to my car to put my bags in, and then it just started pouring, and then it got real cold because I got soaked. I still had to run across campus to my room to put stuff away.
It didn't rain here, but it's real windy.
It's tropical over here.
You're at down there.
What's that?
Was it -20, Justin?
44.
Oh yeah. You know what? Wow, you're warmer than us. We're at like 39 outside, 40. It was like 45 today. But my daughter down in North Carolina told me it was like 75 today. She goes, damn, it got like, feels hot. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it was 80 by me today.
I'm glad I'm going that way in 2 days.
We're at 57.
It's 60 here.
Yeah. That's good.
Keith, you got fog where you're at?
Yesterday was really foggy. Yeah.
We had a lot of fog here yesterday too, and they had it in North Carolina also.
Yeah.
So
I was in Spring Hill earlier, which is up in Pasco County.
Yep.
And it was foggy as all get out this morning coming up through from Georgia into Florida, and then as I got down into Jackson and then as the sun was going down, it started getting foggy again.
Wow. Yeah, temperature changes. Yeah.
We're at 48 right now. But it feels much nicer in here. Last night, the heater broke.
Oh, shit.
And this morning when I got up, it was 69 degrees in the house.
Ooh.
And my wife was able to take the day off. We had the service people come out, and they were actually looking at possibly having to replace the whole system. We just had it put in, but they said something's off with the pressure. There's a blockage or something. And they said, worst case scenario, we got to replace the whole system. But they were here from 9 in the morning till 1:30 in the afternoon, working on it. But I guess there was a valve that they were able to adjust. They said it has an adjustment on it. They got it working. They said if it acts up again, the guy told me what to look for. And he said, let us know, because then we go to the next step. So.
Yeah. Good luck.
Are they the guys who did the install?
Yeah.
So they're going to cover it if it's got to be replaced?
Yeah, so the system we got, it has if anything goes wrong, I think I don't remember how many years, but so many years you have on it that if anything goes wrong, they don't replace the parts in the condenser. They take the whole condenser unit out and put a new one in.
Oh, all I know is the words, "Oh, sorry, your warranty ended last month."
Yeah, that I don't want to.
Or labor is not included.
Yeah.
No comprende.
Yeah.
But everything they worked on today was all under all that. So
nice. Good.
It was all free of charge, but other than freezing our butts off last night. But
yeah.
I don't know. I sleep pretty well if it's about 69 degrees.
Well, if it's 120 outside, I like it when it's 69 degrees in the house. When it's cold, rainy, and everything outside, not so much.
Yeah. Well, and see that goes if you know anything about geotherm, where where you're using where geotherm, where they run lines into the earth, and the same thing. When it's hot, well, you're using that cool they're bringing up from way down deep, and the same thing.
Yeah.
If it's 20 degrees outside, but it's 50 to 50 or so that they're bringing up, then they don't. It's geotherm is one of those things that it's really interesting.
It is.
One that gets me though is, God, I remember me and my dad were talking about this last week. Heat pumps.
Mm-hmm.
When the hell every HVAC for a home turned into a heat pump? And I'm like, what was all of that? The only thing I know about a heat pump is if your AC goes out, nothing works. If the AC goes out, you don't have heat, you don't have air, you don't have anything.
It's along the lines of these split systems that I've been using. I'm using Mitsubishi splits. And it's the same. The principle is it's AC and heat, because AC, really the principle of AC is to remove humidity from the air.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't colder. It just.
But the opposite side of the AC is always heat. There's always heat on the side. So the heat pump or the split system, it just reverses it and puts the heat into the house instead of outside. It's the same idea. And now they're wildly popular. I know, like the houses I've been looking at down in North and South Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Mini splits are great, depending
they're
upon.
They're all using heat pumps. They're just calling them heat pumps. They're not calling them,
That's basically what this is.
Yeah. That's the principle. Yeah.
It
works.
Our house doesn't have any gas hookup. It's all electric. And
with all the tacos you guys eat, you don't have enough gas? Come on, man.
It's just not.
It's just.
The beans could run the world on natural energy, man. Come on. Fool me.
But yeah, that's basically what it was. Is so that valve was shutting off the refrigerant and keeping it like so that valve is inside the house, and in the box that's inside the house, that valve, I guess the way he explained it was shutting down, causing a blockage. So the refrigerant wasn't circulating through the compressor shut down, and then therefore we just had a fan blowing it with, and then as the house got cold, it was just blowing the ambient air.
Yeah.
But now that it's working, so it's working just like an AC system would work, but in reverse. So it's putting the heat into the house.
Right. Yeah, because the other side of AC is heat. I mean, that's that's the byproduct.
Yeah, I remember learning that years ago when they was studying or doing stuff for what do you call it? What's the certification that everybody used to?
ASC.
ASC. Yeah. Reading that, it's people. Air conditioning, it makes it cold. No, it actually technically it removes the heat. It doesn't make it cold. It removes the heat.
It removes the moisture, which makes it cool. All you gotta do is knock that humidity down, because like even now ambient temperature, like you said, when you go outside at 1 a.m. and you're sweating, if the humidity was not 96, if the humidity was at 60%, at the same temperature, you'd feel a lot colder. Oh, and that's why the way you do a lot of guys miss it with AC is all the motors manuals and all the factory service manuals always have a chart. It's a relative humidity chart, and you look up the ambient versus the humidity, and that's how you set the AC. That's how you know how many pounds of refrigerant you need. It's all based on humidity, and I'm not an AC expert. I just know that from soaking it in. I'm no expert. Just you guys do a lot of I guess you do a lot of like vintage air and stuff like that.
We do.
And you do all the charging in house?
Yeah, we actually just got a new machine this past summer, but yeah, we use that to charge all our systems.
The new machines, from what I've seen, are a lot more user friendly. You need to be less of a AC tech to really know how to use it. It kind of does everything, like almost does it all for you, but it avoids a lot of mistakes too, which is nice.
Yeah, I would say this one's easy to use, but the only problem I've got with it is it just seems to take forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our old machine, I mean, it took a little bit more. I mean, if you knew what you were doing, it was easy enough, but you could get something done fairly quickly. And this thing
I wonder why, because without a blockage, it's just, under pressure. It's just, the gas is just, as long as there's no air bubbles or blockages, right. It should be a fairly straightforward thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. So we bought the machine. It was a used machine. Another local guy had it, but I think he used it twice.
Yeah. So
we got a heck of a deal on it.
Maybe he didn't use it because it was too damn slow.
That might be. That might be.
What brand machine is it?
It's a Snap-on.
Now I don't know who makes the machine for Snap-on, because maybe Robinair.
It used to be Robinair, but that's
right. Because they sure sell, Snap-on sure says. Maybe you could get a tech to come look at it just to give you the blessing.
And that's kind of what I've thought about doing, because our tool guy, our Snap-on guy, said the same thing.
Yeah. I would suggest that, because then you may really have a diamond in the rough, a really good machine, but there may be an issue. It's like with brakes. A lot of times you knock your head against the wall trying to find a problem with a brake wire. It's hanging up. You can't figure, and it's it's a hose. The inside of a hose is collapsed.
Right.
Collapses under pressure, and and then you feel like you're like Superman when you find it, but. Could be something stupid like that.
I'm okay if it's something stupid.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. I got a question. One of my buddies is working on his grandson's truck. Mm-hmm. Dodge pickup. I I'm not sure what year it is, but he can start it up and it'll shut right off. Or sometimes he'll start it up and drive it and it just shuts off. But then it starts right back up and runs fine.
Module.
He's got to put a scan tool on it. You got to look at. You want to see if it's fuel or ignition. Something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be on the flaky side where it's just some kind of a connector. But yeah, with a new vehicle, you got to look at the scan data.
Yeah, I think it's probably a 2008, 9, somewhere in there.
That's new enough. Yeah.
Scan it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, bring it over to Keith's house and he'll blow it up for you.
I had we were going to work on my brother's Typhoon on Saturday, and I go, come over early in the morning. And like 9 o'clock, he calls me. He goes, I can't get it running. I'm like, get some brake. You have brake clean? Yeah, throw it, spray it in there. And so he goes, all right, got it running. And he got it, drove it like quarter mile. He calls me up. He goes, well, now I'm sitting on the side of the road. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, it starts up, and then as soon as I put it in gear, it dies.
Got gas in it?
What do you? I'm trying to tell the story.
Don't steal his thunder.
So I go over there.
Got no gas in it.
Yeah, he had a quarter tank. The gauge said a quarter tank. So I go over there with my truck and trailer, and I started up. I'm checking all vacuum lines. I'm like, maybe it's a vacuum leak, right? Because I see it says quarter tank, right? I'm like, should have gas in it. And I asked him, I go, when was the last time we put gas in it? He goes, I don't remember. He goes, we put gas in it when it was at your house when we got it running. I go, yeah, put like maybe 5-10 gallons. That's about it. He goes, and I goes, oh yeah, I've been driving around. So I get on the truck and trailer. I go, just for sakes, let's just go. We're at a gas station. Let's go to a gas station. Let's see how much gas we'll put in it. So it's a 20-gallon tank. We put 18.5 gallons in it.
Wow.
I was like, you have a gallon and a half in here. There's no way this thing's going to stay running. So he started up and it's like, oh, it's running fine. I'm like, yeah, amazing. We put gas in it.
Weird. Should have gave him a tow bill.
Yeah. But so we need to work on it. So it was probably like, on the trailer, gas, taking it off the trailer, blah, blah, blah. We probably started working on it like 1 o'clock. And we ripped there. Anyway, the main thing we're doing on it is to get the AC working. So we're replacing all the AC stuff. So in that process, I'm like, well, let's do a new condenser and a compressor, and I'm trying to get new lines. That's what I'm looking online right now to see if I can get new AC lines. But I'm like, well, we got to take the radiator out. Like, this thing looks old. Let's order another radiator.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All this other stuff. The oil cooler lines, when we were taking them off. Oh, I got to use my inductor. That was fun. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah,
put it on there, heated it up. It was like, oh, look at that. Freaking crack that sucker right off.
Yeah, Tyler had one, and we used it on the bus. Man, that thing don't play around.
It's awesome. I was like, this is cool. So I had it was stuck into the radiator. We're turning it, and the whole thing's turning, and also the line started turning. So I heated up. So I wrapped the inductor around it, and I heated it up. And so he's sitting there turning. I go, hold on, the whole line's turning again. So I have these like special needle nose pliers that look for the hoses. And I clamped that sucker on there. I go, turn it now. So I was holding the metal line from turning, and he was going. I was like, oh. And anyway, we got it off. The O-ring in there just was gone. It just melted and spit out.
Yeah.
But I want to replace all those lines, and they're on the way. But it's a big pain in the ass to try to get the oil on the Typhoon. It has a remote oil cooler. So the oil it's leaking on the block, and there's all these like 6 or 7 connections where it could leak. So we're gonna replace all that crap when that comes in. It's just like, and then I'm looking at the differential. I go, well, this is leaking, and the cover's rusted. I'm like, so order a new cover. The bolts are rusted. I'm like, get new bolts.
Yeah.
He's not going to be allowed back home after his wife gets the bill.
No, that's a good thing. No wife.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, but the plan is to take it on sick week. And we're going to go in the sick ward and just travel around with everybody. So we're trying to get it fixed for that. And we need AC.
Nice.
Oh, and then he says the brakes don't work. So after we get it back together, we get a front one. And I looked at the brakes, like the rear cylinders. I could just see everything's rusted back there.
You know, it's funny you said brakes. My Silverado's sitting in my driveway at home, and I know that's the first thing I do when I get home is fix it. But I blew one line, and I know as soon as I start playing with that one line, the rest of them are going to go because it's all rusted under there.
Yeah,
what happened to me.
So I'm trying to talk one of the fellas into going and work on it before I get back.
Yeah.
I don't think what happened though.
This way I don't have to deal with it. Yeah, his truck's been in Florida his whole life, but the guy lived in Key West for a while, and he had land, some property right on the waters where he lived.
Salt air.
Salt air. Just It's got rust in some spots and this and that. It's like, ugh. I'm like, well, it's a typhoon though, so.
So along the lines of did you put gas in it? Many years ago, my sister called me and she says, I can't get the door open on my Honda. I mean, what do you mean you can't get the door open? Well, the driver door. She goes, I said, so from the inside or the outside, the handle's not working. Is it broken? She goes, that's just it. It doesn't look like it's broken. She goes, but she goes, on the outside, I pull on it, nothing. On the inside, we pull on it, nothing. And I said, well, does it make noise? I said, because maybe the rod's bent, maybe the rod, where it attaches on the rod, it broke. And I said, I can't get over there to look at it. So let me just walk you through and tell me what you hear. And she goes, well, it sounds like it's moving. And I said, well, okay, where the latch is on the striker, it may be rusted or gummed up. And maybe it's like partially starting to open, but it's not fully opening. And I said, well, at this point, we don't want to tear into the door card. Because I said, if that door card was off, you could see everything and make it so much easier. I said, but you don't want to just tear that thing apart because you're gonna lose it because we'd have to rip into it and whatnot. And I said, what you can try to do, and this isn't, I'm going by the aspect of everything you're telling me that maybe, just maybe, the latch is not fully opening. And I said, I said, whichever one has stronger legs, you or your boyfriend, I said, have one on the outside pulling on the handle and the other one kick at the door, but towards where the sill is. Thank God they didn't kick the window out. But she goes, okay, we can try that. I said, no, don't go too crazy, but a good couple of smacks and see if it like pops loose or something. That'll give us something to go with. She calls back pissed off, almost not really cussing me out, but not far from it. And she goes, you told me to do all this. And I said, yes, I was going off of what you said. And I said, that's where I probably would have started. And she goes, the stupid door was locked. You didn't tell me to check if the door was locked. And I said,
you figured that was something you would look.
I said, you're calling and yelling at me because I got to tell you to check if the door is locked.
Yeah.
Boy, that is the perfect adjunct story for the gas. It really is. Yeah, that's good.
Right. Coach, I got one better.
Yeah.
When I worked for Toyota, when I wrote service, the guy who was the service director over parts and service, when I ended up leaving Toyota a couple years later, he ended up going to a Chevrolet dealer. Same thing, service director. I had some stuff done on my 09 Silverado there. Was talking to him about getting some stuff done, and he was laughing as I was calling on the phone. I was like, because I mean, he would not stop. He was tickled because he was snickering and laughing. I was like, Doug, what's got you so? What's got you just got your goat? You're just laughing and stuff. He goes, we had a guy come in today, brand new Silverado. I mean, brand new, less than 100 miles on it. And he was mad as a damn wet hen. And I was like, what? He goes, service. He goes, I got this story from the service writer, but I saw what was going on. Driver's side windows busted out in this truck, brand new truck. Guy comes in and he's all mad, this, that, and the other, and he's the key fob and this and that, this and that, just going on and on about the key fob, this, that, and the other. And I couldn't do this. I couldn't get in the truck. I could go just going off on the service writer. She's like, just stop for a second. What happened? And he goes, I tried to get in the truck and I was trying to do the thing and all that, and I had to go and I was in a hurry, so I ended up just busting the window out. And the girl, he goes, little service writer's about 5'2", walks over and goes, sir, takes the keys out of his hand, goes over to the door, puts it in the door, unlocks the door, and opens it and goes, warranty doesn't cover that window. hands the key back. Goes, talk to the guy in service. They'll get you some new batteries for the remote for the key fob. Brand new truck. This idiot busted the window out of it because it wouldn't open the door, and he was in a hurry, and she just unlocked the door.
They had the sense to use the key.
My wife locked the keys in the car one day, and she went and looked through the window, see if she left the keys in it. What do you see here?
Yeah. Wow.
I left the keys in my car and it was running. I went to get gas. I parked it, got out, locked it. I'm like, filled the thing up with gas. I go to get back in. I'm like, oh shit! I need to ride home to get the spare set. And it just ran the whole time. Well, actually, it was a 7. I think it was probably Jimmy the lockup. It was a 75 Cutlass, so you can just jimmy up the little knob.
I think this is going back to like, I don't know, 2010. I bought my older daughter a Dodge Stratus, and she had it last car in the driveway, and I think I had to drive it. I wanted to check something on it. I had to go. I was going to do the radio show on a Sunday, and it snowed overnight. It was like snowy, and it was some icy rain, so everything was frosty. So I opened the car up and I started, and I closed the door. I'm going to de-ice the windshield and all. I had to clean it before I could leave, and the door locked itself. I was like, "What the hell?" And we didn't have a spare key at the time, so I'm like, my car's in front of it. I can't leave. I can't leave this thing running all day, and now I can't get in it. So luckily, the auto parts store by me was open then on a Sunday, and I went up and they had a lockout kit that the body guys use, the wedge and the bladder and all. I was able to get in and open the door, and to this day, if I'm doing something with the car, if I want to clear it off, whatever, I'll run a window down. It's like I don't take a chance. I'm not gonna reload myself.
Well, I got in that habit because when I was hauling cars, you in and out so many times. So I started leaving the window down a little bit every time I get in and out of a car.
Yeah.
I do that, John. We had that happen one time in high school. My buddy came over in his Cavalier, and the way those are, the handle and the lock, like it's really easy to hit the lock when you grab the handle. Mm-hmm. And so sure enough, like car's running, he gets out, boom, locks, closes the door. And we're like, oh crap, we gotta go somewhere. I bet we spent probably 45 minutes, little wooden wedges out of Dad's garage, coat hangers, trying to unlock this thing. Because, car's running in my driveway, locked.
Yeah.
Granted, he lives 3 miles away. We could have just drove down and got the key. After 45 minutes, we decided maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
When I first moved to Florida back in the early 90s, I ended up working for a guy running a detail shop. This guy came up from Palm Beach. This was in the Stewart area, about an hour north of West Palm. Guy brings in this beautiful burgundy and black 930 slant nose turbo Porsche.
Wow.
Want to know what the new guy did? He wasn't thinking about it? Clunk. Where's the keys for the Porsche? Oh, they're in it. I thought the owner was going to have a coronary when the guy showed up and told him what it was going to cost to get in that thing without really mangling it, because it was, this was a hopped up 930 slant nose Porsche, and the guy goes, I can get in it. He goes, it's going to take me a few minutes, and he goes, I can do it without scratching it out. He goes, but you're not going to like what I got to do to get in it. He goes, I can get in there without destroying it. It's going to take me a few minutes. I think it ended up costing him about $400 for him to get into that Porsche without destroying this and that and everything. He goes, I, and he showed him, he goes, I can get in it. He goes, but it's not going to be cheap because it's
specialty. Yep.
Back in like 2003, I was working security in the downtown area, and I had the whole downtown area. It was this time of year, and I was working graveyards. And so in the middle of the night when I do my rounds, normally we'd walk it, but this time of year, I would just get in the car and drive around and stop at certain places, get out, and then drive around again just to keep warm. And that night I took my Porsche and I stopped to go to the office to do something. And I came back and I was talking on the phone with a buddy of mine, and we're talking, and I get to the Porsche and I'm like, where's my keys? He's like, you didn't lock your keys in the car, did you? And I get my flashlight and I shine into the car and I'm like, yep, I can see them. And then I start getting heated up and I'm start cussing, and he goes, don't do it, Isaac. Don't do it. And I'm like, don't do what? And he goes, you're about to break the window. I know you. And he goes, all I got to tell you, he goes, and at the time, one of the other cars we owned was a Nissan Maxima. He goes, you can do it with the Maxima. And he says, it's not going to kill you. He said, but think of the word Porsche. He said, you bust that window out. And he goes, and it may be an old Porsche, but the price is going to be a brand new window. And do you want to spend money on a Porsche window? And it ended up on the Targa. I hadn't replaced the hook on the back latch. It had broke the hook part of the latch, and it was just enough I could mess with it and like bump it up and get it loose, and I was able to get in there and roll the window down and get in. But he said if that doesn't work, because I had him on the phone while I was messing with it, said if that doesn't work, he goes, just call a locksmith. It's going to be expensive, but it's worth it. It's a lot cheaper than replacing that stupid window. And he said, and then you're going to be really pissed because of the price and how old the car is and why does it cost that much with a car that old.
Yeah, needless to say, the policy at the detail shop was when you get out of the car, put the key in the door.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't leave it inside, stick it in the door.
Yep.
Yeah, they do something similar at the body shop. They take the key out and they'll put it like on a windshield wiper up on the windshield. Because guys still lose keys. They do it all the time.
Yeah, because same thing. We would. This was back in the heydays when the alarm craze. Because like the owner's car did that. He had an alarm and forgot to put a window down, and he was doing something, and it was like chirp chirp. It's like, thank you. Your car had just armed itself.
Yeah.
Like, so that when he got lucky, he ended up calling his dad, and his dad had a spare key for the Monte. This was a beautiful '72 Monte Carlo, and they were from Bensonhurst.
Yeah.
So they his dad managed to it was funny because it was Frank and Frankie owning the shop, father and son, nice guys.
Yeah.
It was. He pulled that thing in and hopped out, was doing something, and that thing chirp. It's like
that's a terrible feeling,
huh? For me, I had spare keys for the Porsche. They were at home, but it was 3:00 in the morning, and my wife was home with my kids were babies at that time. So calling home wasn't an option. I mean, it was, but I'd have been better off breaking the window. Yeah, exactly.
When I had my '69 Camaro, I would lock the keys in so many times. I made a spare door key and kept it on my house key ring. So I always had door key, a different keychain.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
See, what I liked about the Maxima, if we locked the keys in, it was a 92 Maxima, and that was the ones that had the code on the door.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the few times I did do that, because I locked them in the Maxima too, but you could press the code and the windows would roll down and everything.
So speaking of locks, I gotta have a buddy check the house for me when I'm away, so I'm gonna give him a key. I noticed like my new storm door, the lock just felt a little, I don't know, a little stiff. So I went in the garage and I have this stuff. I don't have one here, but it's called Dry Slide. It's a liquid graphite, and I got it years ago for motorcycle cables, either brake cables or clutch cables or whatever. It's got a real thin needle-like adapter, and you just put it into the end of the cable and squeeze it. If you have the cable off, you hold it up and you just wait till it drips out the bottom. And now it just gets into the wire and stays for a long, long time. So I grabbed the bottle and I just hit the lock on the screen door. And man, what a difference it made. So I did all the locks. I was doing some stuff with some gun cases and master locks. I was just putting a drop in those. Man, it just immediately frees everything up. So good maintenance tip. Get a little bit of liquid graphite. Of course, the other thing is once you get it on your hands, it's like never sees, except it's black. You know.
Yeah.
Into your skin, but good stuff.
Lewis, you remember Slip Coat?
No. Slip Coat.
Slip Coat. When I was pulling cars, I had just got my truck and trailer issued to me, and I were going through it with the and we're going through the packet or the crate of straps and this and that. There's so many straps in it, and so we're going through making sure I got all the straps and everything. And I see the guy over there with a 8 or 9 car open setup, with the slides and all that stuff, and he's out there. And right. He's got a brush and a can, and I said, damn, it's kind of windy for out there putting that grease on there, or, because I didn't know. And I said, well, is he greasing the rails on that thing or whatever? And he goes, not grease. He said, it's called Slip Coat. And it's like Ray was saying, it's like it's like a graphite lubricant, and you paint it on, and come to find out they've got it in aerosol spray cans or paint. Right. You do it with a brush. And
I didn't have any hydraulic slides or anything, so I never used it. Yeah.
Well, what it does is, when you're adjusting it and kicking your angles and doing all this, that you take and you paint it with this stuff, and it makes those ramps and all that stuff slide rather than just scratching all up and all that. And he goes, the beauty part is when it dries, it's like it almost bonded. He goes, you have to like literally scrape the stuff to get it off. Once it dries on there, he goes, so the guys will do it when there's no cars on there. They can kick the ramp up and paint it all that and just paint them all up. So and it's like a dark, it's almost about the color of the inside of your hoodie shirt there. Mm-hmm. Is that gray color. Yeah. And like I said, I found some of it in an aerosol, and I had a couple of things that slid in that, and I was like, let's see how this works. Holy cow, that works a lot better to sliding on that.
Amazing what stuff like that'll do. Yep.
Ray, you remember the Brill Cream jingle?
The Brill Cream jingle? No, I can't say that I remember. Little dabble do you?
That's it, Brill Cream. A little dabble do you?
We're just talking today. My wife and I were driving. There was something that came in. Oh, we were talking about something. I was talking about a guy that I saw on a video, and now I can't remember what video it was. But I said he was the. Oh, we were talking about ShopRite, and there's this what's called the can sale, where they now they have they're selling walls of canned goods, and I said they've been doing that since the 70s. They said I remember the TV commercial. It was ShopRite. Something does the can. And she's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. Like, yeah, it was sticks in your head like forever.
I thought I thought it might have been Agent 007 and 7/8.
Oh, that's a classic. I've been seeing. I found out a couple of years ago, and I was really amazed. That thing was funny as hell, but it reemerges every now and again, like it just did with you.
Yeah, I had only seen sections of that. I had never seen the full.
Yeah.
Where
I think I saw the full one about a year ago for the first time, and it was a commercial for for the GM cars and the GTO, and it was a spoof of like James Bond. He was 007 and 7/8, so it was pretty funny.
66 Chevelle.
It was like a sci-fi theme. It was pretty cool.
Had to have him a good-looking lady that he was damsel. He was going to rescue the go-go dancer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when people had, they really went out of their way. There was inventiveness and creativity. It was good times. Good times.
Yeah. Yeah, the ad agencies aren't what they used to be.
No.
Well, they're really not now because of AI.
Yeah, that's the other part of it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think it's also they're finding out that influencers have better effect on sales than just trying to do a snazzy commercial.
Well, and it's true, Jim, but it's because of the way people get their information now. And I know my own two daughters, they're 7 years apart. One's in her 30s, the other's in her 20s. And the 28-year-old, she doesn't watch regular TV. She streams everything, or everything's internet-based. That's how she gets her information.
Yeah.
It's not traditional anymore. That is now the new tradition. So, yeah, I guess they just got to go with the times.
Well, those AI videos are potentially really dangerous, too, because I was watching one, was it last night or the night before? And it was the reels, the short vids. And it's this one, look at what happened when this guy took care of this mountain lion. And I'm like, wait, what? So I start watching it, and it's this mountain lion that's skin and bones. And the guy goes out, and the thing is just barely moving, and the whole video looks real. And he goes out and he gives it a little bit of meat, and then the cat starts getting stronger and everything, and then it moves on, but then it comes back to visit, and then at one point it comes back and it had a clamp trap on his paw.
Uh-huh.
He's sitting there going, just relax, I'm trying to help you. And I'm like, and that's dangerous. And I'm watching it and I'm like, this can't be real. And then it shows the mountain lion leaves and comes back and brings its kitten. And I'm like, this is really far-fetched. So I'm like, I got to look at the comments, and I'm watching how many people are like, oh, what a sweet thing. That's really what you got to do. We got to.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you go do that and find out you're on the wrong side of a mountain lion.
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to get somebody killed.
Yeah. It's also a good idea to stand in front of an ICE agent's car too, when he tells you to stop. You find out now that ain't going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been, like I said, I watch YouTube like my TV because there's nothing on TV. And last year I watched like 930 different channels according to YouTube.
Yeah,
and I do. I watch it for hours, and a lot of it's stuff that I follow, and then I watch stuff that's recommended for me. And with the automotive stuff, especially, luckily it hasn't gotten to the music end yet. But on the automotive end, there's a lot of AI generated stuff, and some of it is better than others. I just watched one tonight about the Edelbrock line of carburetors. Going back to the AVS and the AFB and the newer lines, and it was very good. It was much better than some of the others. But one of the tip-offs is they use certain voices. As soon as you hear the voice, it's an AI video.
Yeah.
And like I said, some are better than others. And I look at the comments all the time, and usually someone will say, "Yeah, AI bullshit. Get a real voice." And some of the videos I won't continue watching because the information is just wrong. They really get it screwed up. And I said, well, what do you do about this? You know, the only thing you can do, and what I do is I'll give it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's really not much else you can do. But like I said, it's there's still a lot of bad ones out there, but they are getting. I have seen some of them getting better. And the problem is, if people want to use that as a reference point, and now they're propagating wrong information. You know, and that's the problem. But the bigger problem with AI is, like we were talking earlier, the AI bots go out to other digital sources and cull information. So if it was wrong, you know, at least with the Encyclopedia Britannica, it went through a lot of checks before it got printed. So once the AI bots cull it from other digital sources that could be wrong information, it just propagates down the line. And now if the next AI bot to do it is a very good one and the voice is better and they don't have the vocal problems that a lot of them have. They stop in the middle of a sentence and they start a new sentence. Yeah, all of that shit. Because I've seen some that now aren't doing that. They're getting better. It's going to be harder and harder for people to discern unless you really know the subject.
Yeah.
And if you're watching it because you don't know and you want to learn, you know, now you're going to be a little more trusting. And that's where the problem is going to come in.
Oh yeah, 100%. I've seen ones where, like you said, the information may be wrong. It sounds good, but I've seen ones where it actually contradicts itself. It will give one bit of information and right piggybacking, it gives the next set of information, but it completely contradicts.
Yeah.
Just said so.
Right.
You know.
I know the one that always catches Ray's opinion or Ray's ear is when it goes, you know, new for Pontiac Tempest, it's Hypo 389.
Yeah. You don't say numbers. Or they'll say,
engine.
Or they'll say, yeah, the new Camaro with the 350 CI engine. Like, red flag, dude, red flag.
Well, here's the funny thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. I watched one not too long ago where it said like a 355 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this is an AI. Like, but I'm still a little sketchy. And then it goes into the 355 CI, you know.
I've seen some where they'll be talking about something and they'll use a person's name and they'll say it wrong.
Yeah.
And then later on they'll say it right. And then it'll be wrong again. Like, holy shit, they couldn't even get it right when they got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nutty. It's definitely buyer beware. But yeah, the thing is, and I was telling this to my wife, I said, you know, AI doesn't talk like us. It doesn't have the inflection or the, like even with, you know, with like with an engine call out, you know, 350 CI, you know, we would say 350 cubic inches. It doesn't know when to say 350 or 350 or 350. It doesn't know that yet. And I can't learn it. I don't know because it's pretty commonly widely used that way. You know.
Yeah.
So we're at the forefront, man. Well,